Censorship's one of those things that just boils my blood. I can't even really explain it, and maybe you feel the same way. But there's something about censorship, violation of just natural sharing of information and free speech and human rights. It just really boils my blood. And it's happening in 2020 like never before, at least in this country. Here's a quote from George Washington. "If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent, we may be led like sheep to the slaughter." George Washington. Look at history to find examples of the dangers of censorship. Every tyrant in history uses censorship, uses propaganda, uses mass manipulation through media and news and whatever. And in 2020, it's running rampant. I wasn't going to talk about this today. And then I saw another YouTuber that I follow that had about 300,000 subscribers, Dan Dix. So the Press for Truth, which is a YouTube channel that he'd been working on for almost 10 years, was just immediately wiped clean, banned. From everything I've seen from him, all he does is report on what's going on. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You're probably going to watch this video on the very platform that banned him. And yeah, I hope it gets destroyed. I hope it kills itself with all its absurdity, even though I'm making videos for it, just because it's not really any other option at this point. And I hope there's going to be other options. I hope there's going to be decentralized options. Use Brave, use BitChute, or not BitChute, I think it's called BitChute. There's some other platforms. There's platforms that don't censor. There's platforms for freedom of speech, and they're not that popular because they're not mainstream, and the masses are what make the mainstream platforms, and the masses don't really care. They don't pay attention. What can they do? Well, we can actually all file FTC complaints. We should be doing anything and everything we can to fight back against censorship. Our country is founded on freedom of speech, freedom of press, and then you can just be wiped clean like that. Click of a button. It's unbelievable that this stuff is going on in 2020. It's unbelievable that people think, oh, well, it can't happen in America. We could never have Nazi Germany or USSR or Soviet Union or whatever, except we're literally following in the footsteps. Look at the recent protests. Most of them have a Marxist agenda, collectivism, socialism. And throughout history, millions die anytime anything collectivist takes over. And that is no different today. It will happen if this continues. Cancel culture, suppressing of information, the big tech companies censoring and highlighting certain data and ignoring others. This new thing of fact checkers. Who decides something is fact at this point? Because it's not on Google in the top search engine, even though those results are manipulated like crazy? Because it's on Wikipedia or isn't, which is, again, manipulated and bias infiltrating. It's unbelievable the amount of absurdity that is going on right now. I'm posting this on all my platforms because this is a PSA to the dangers of censorship and how we have to fight back. And so I hope this is just a call to action to you. If you want to learn more about Dan Dix, I'm going to add the link below. The video is Dan Dix Censored. The Press for Truth YouTube channel has been permanently deleted. I believe it's on BitChute or one of those platforms because he's no longer on YouTube. He can't even post it on YouTube. Recommend you check that out. Give him some support, like, comment, share. We need to keep these tech monopolies that distort the truth, that control the narrative, that control what the masses, millions and millions of people see and thus think. We need to fight back. This is extremely dangerous. This is getting absolutely absurd. Every day I log in, there's a new thing, a new person being censored or banned or whatever. That one couple that were protecting their property by going outside with their guns, private property, mind you, gated private property, being threatened by the mob, the cops went and took their guns away. What the hell is going on? Is this literally 1984? Are the elite like reading Orwell's 1984 and be like, let's just do this. Let's just make it look like this. Let's one inch at a time. And the masses are gobbling up because they're too focused on, we need to make things not racist and all these other boogaboos. Boogie virus, gonna get us. Let's be afraid. Let's shame people for not wearing masks. Who's shaming people for filling their cart with processed, subsidized, government subsidized junk food? That's killing people. That kills millions, literally millions a year. Junk food and fake food kills millions of people a year around the globe. Just in the US, it's over a million. Heart disease, 600,000. Cancer, I believe it's 400,000. Medical error, something like 350,000 people. But that's not even included in the Google results. The flu, globally, 500,000. The thing about the internet was supposed to democratize sharing of information and give equal opportunity to everybody. It hasn't done that. It's actually become a conglomerated, monopoly-driven echo chamber that stifles dissenting thought, that perpetuates narrative, and that lets individuals' political leanings seep in to affect millions, and at this point, billions of people. The current version of the internet that's dominated by these monopoly platforms, they need to go. We need a truly decentralized internet. We need a decentralized place to share information and interact. That's what the internet is supposed to do. But we're not there. And it makes sense Investors love monopolies because they can make absurd returns. And when you're making absurd returns, you don't care about censorship or freedom of speech or anything. You care about making money. Peter Thiel, one of the founders of PayPal and a prominent investor, billionaire, he talks about this in his book 0 to 1. He recommends trying to have a monopoly. It's unbelievable. And the average person doesn't know any of this. They believe what they're told on TV. They wake up and pay their bills and do the things and consume their content, and they're unaware. And I don't want to say I told you so, but it's going to happen, and it's going to really suck. And a lot of good people are going to suffer. So that's why I've shifted my content to promoting these ideas. I talk about health. I talk about mindset. And I'm going to try to infiltrate those into this message as much as possible. But I can't just ignore the elephant in the room. The fact that they're trampling on constitutional rights, the way of life as we know it. They're trying to call it the new normal because they want to destroy the old way of life. They want to further get to that more control, more fake dollars, more being debt slaves. The call to action is to complain, fight back, share. Do not let these tech monopolies get away with censorship. Complain to the FTC, Consumer Affairs, leave negative reviews, send emails, write letters to congressmen, encourage the congressmen that go after big tech to go after big tech. I used to actually be more on the side of big tech. I thought, it's capitalism. Let's let them do what they need to do. I've done a complete 180, where I think all big tech needs to be broken up. I never thought I would say something like that. And parts of me think that, if it is broken up, it's probably gonna be better. It's not gonna be perfect. Anything the government does is never perfect. It's far from it. But this is one of those examples that if we don't get to a true democratization of information, the way the internet promised in the beginning, if we don't get there, it's going to crumble our society. People don't realize how dangerous and precarious things are right now. Every day I wake up, I'm just like, man, I don't really want to cover this. I don't want to. Freedom of speech, it's important, but I just, I don't know if I have it in me. I feel like it drains me. And then I see something else, like Dan Dix getting banned on YouTube, and it just reignites that flame. Like the flame I don't want to be there. Like I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about government, but I literally live here and my family's here. And so I have to do something. And I hope that more people will feel the same, because the silent majority, right? The silent majority is how you got Nazi Germany. Police going to take private citizens' legally owned weapons in stark violation of the Constitution. Oh, they're just following orders. They don't really want to be there. Every single Nazi in the Nuremberg trials said, we were just following orders. So when does it stop? I think we need police. I don't think we should just completely defund police. We need police reform. More importantly, we need criminal justice reform. We need political reform, because those are the ultimate puppet tiers of everything that goes on below. They're the ones that are making these absurd things happen and that are doing things for political gain and agenda. And there's very little checks and balance. What do you vote them out? Most people don't even know how to vote for local politicians, or don't. They see something in the news and then it's like, oh, that guy's bad. And then they forget. And then they end up either voting for the guy or not voting at all. Like, the idea of democracy is very flawed. That's why we were basically founded on a republic. Socrates hated democracy. Plato hated democracy. There's a version of it that can work, but I don't think we're there yet. I think we had maybe fluid democracy where we vote on our phone, and the second somebody loses popular vote, they're out of office the next day. I think that would work. That'd be pretty awesome, actually. Talk about needing to really serve the people. But that's not going to happen, at least not anytime soon. The elite's never going to let that happen, because they can't control the politicians then. The corporations can't pay to have their bidding done. We got to stand up. The silent majority needs to become the outspoken majority before life as we know it is gone. So to get more like this, head over to Colin.coach, hop on the AM5 newsletter. This is the Escaping Fragility podcast. You might be watching this on the Ancestral Mind as well. So if you're interested in health, go over to the Ancestral Mind. And if you're interested in mindset, preparing, having a plan B, freedom of speech, freedoms in general, being a self-reliant human global citizen, which is actually the process I'm going through myself right now with my family, and I will be documenting that, then go over to the Escaping Fragility podcast and get on that as well.